I'm anti-people breaking other people's property.
Mayor Ted Wheeler taking a firm stance on Portland protests, saying those who damage downtown should be arrested. This comes after a peaceful pro-choice protest last night devolved. Coffee shops had windows smashed. The old courthouse now covered in graffiti. Good evening. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. One person was arrested, and the mayor says police have evidence that'll lead to even more arrests. Katu's Genevieve Rayom was live for us downtown, and Wheeler says those arrests are crucial to stopping this protest escalation.
Yeah, Deb, he could not have been any clearer. Mayor Wheeler says the people who are spray painting this graffiti and busting the windows out of the Starbucks up the street, well, they need to be held accountable. An entire park filled with protesters last night. The pro-choice group loud.
Abortion is healthcare!
But peaceful, fighting for abortion rights, which a Supreme Court leak shows are in danger.
Grassroots action, mass action can be very significant in where things go from here.
Democratic Senators Jeff Merkley and Ron Wyden both saying these movements can make a huge difference. Wyden, when asked if grassroots pressure can influence senators to codify Roe versus Wade.
There's no question about that.
Portland's activism is often followed by destruction. Shattered windows on several coffee shops are now boarded up. Graffiti covers the old courthouse downtown.
I think it does have an impact on the message. That doesn't mean that it detracts from the validity of what people are saying.
Others are worried, though large crowds giving them
Portland PTSD.
They remember the summer of 2020 and are concerned the message will get lost.
I don't think vandalism is the way.
Mayor Ted Wheeler, too, can't make sense of it.
I don't understand how breaking the window across the street at Starbucks helps further the cause of choice.
He says the only way to stop a protest from devolving is to arrest those doing the damage.
And I suspect that's part of the reason that the people who engage in these activities wear costumes, because they're cowards.
I did talk with one man today who says sometimes the graffiti and the shattered windows, well, those are necessary to make sure that a message is clear. But Mayor Wheeler says he thinks most of the people who gathered here in downtown last night to support abortion rights, he says they would be appalled to learn that the people doing this damage were attaching that damage to the pro-choice movement.
There's talk a lot about livability. I hear from Portlanders every day on this subject. Portlanders continue to see litter and graffiti across their neighborhoods.
Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler says the city has a lot of work ahead, and with his newly proposed budget, they won't have enough money for every request from city bureaus. The mayor says he made strategic decisions to distribute dollars, focusing heavily on two critical areas: homelessness and rising gun violence. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Deborah Knapp.
And I'm Steve Dunn. K2's Kelly Ozer live outside City Hall now. Obviously, policing and crime are major topics. Kelly, lay out the mayor's plans for us tonight.
Well, I think the big point out of today is this is not the city we once knew. And this is what I was asking him a lot about today, is that ever-changing landscape, one that many would say has not been for the better. Now, he says that he wants Portland to come out from underneath the cloud that it's been covered in over these last few years. He says when it comes to damage, vandalism, and homelessness, as well as crime, things definitely need to change. Now, he says with this year's budget, he believes substantial change can be made.
The shortage of police officers in Portland comes as no surprise to anyone, not even the mayor, as he says the issue is nationwide, but likely made worse for Portland by the constant turmoil over the last 3 years.
It's definitely a tougher sell here.
And that reality didn't go ignored in the mayor's proposed budget for the new fiscal year. The mayor says he is hoping to try a new approach.
But I remain committed to my restaffing plan of adding 300 personnel, which includes 100 unarmed public safety support specialists, commonly called PS3s, to the Bureau over the course of 3 years.
With $13 million going to gun violence prevention, he says the Portland police will continue to try hiring for the hundreds of open positions, including sworn officers. But he says by increasing the number of PS3s to 70, that will alleviate some of the burden felt by those sworn officers. The mayor also says he has proposed over $1 million to a summer ceasefire program in hopes of curbing violence. He says if violence isn't addressed, police won't stand a chance keeping up no matter how well staffed they are.
This will provide needed resources for summer engagement and intervention work.
This is new at 11. 5 candidates are in the running to become Vancouver's next chief of police. All of them spoke at a forum tonight, sharing their thoughts on the future of public safety and community needs. Here's how they responded when asked about reducing crime.
We really need to start leveraging a lot of the technology that's available to us. And when I say that, a perfect example is package thefts. At my prior organization, we utilized bait packages. We advertised living daylights out of it, and we actually caught the Amazon driver who had delivered a package and then stolen another package.
It's important to engage in focused deterrence programs, working with your county prosecutor's office, state and local offices to bring your prolific offenders, as my colleague stated, into a room and explaining to them that we know that you're driving crime in our community.
Those strategies of leveraging the community, because the police, and I said this last night, the police by themselves are not capable in terms of handling all the crime. It's got to be a joint effort where we work together. We're not asking you to put yourselves in harm's way, but we need to develop that collaboration.
Jail is not the ultimate answer for everybody. In fact, if we could go arrest every criminal, everyone that committed a crime today and take them to the jail, that wouldn't end our problem. First of all, the jail can't hold them. Second of all, it doesn't get to the root causes of some of their criminal conduct.
You do need to address your repeat offenders, and the restorative justice programs that we have in Clark County keep building on that. That is working with our community and our community partners and our law enforcement partners, because we do have a system that's strained right now, and I would say in some terms broken.
Does a police
You
force...
heard from a lot of candidates there. 3 of the candidates are currently assistant chiefs with the Vancouver Police Department: Michael Lester, Jeffrey Morey, and Troy Price. The other candidates: Joel Fitzgerald, the police chief of Waterloo, Iowa, and Andrew Neiman, captain with the Los Angeles Police Department.